Hello, this is Idodmg and welcome back to the channel. In this Torchlight 3 video, I want to talk about offenses and how to deal damage. Before we go ahead and jump right in, I just want to remind everyone we are doing the weekly giveaway of a Steam copy of Torchlight 3 for all of October. Make sure you are on the DMGCREW Discord to find all the details there. We'll also be announcing the winner live on stream over on Twitch every weekend for the rest of the month. Now let's go ahead and talk Torchlight 3. How do you deal damage? First of all, before we jump into the end game portion of the damage and min-maxing, I've noticed a lot of people, when they make a brand new character, they kind of just plow through the content up until about level 10. At that point, they start to struggle. They're not dealing damage. Mobs don't die fast enough, things like that. A few tips I have for you if that's your situation is make sure that you are life binding your weapons. This is going to increase the damage on your weapon by 20%, but if you happen to die, you will lose that item. The only thing is that you should keep in mind is items are very common and you're going to find loads of them throughout your adventures. Don't be scared to lose a few items here and there. Or just don't die. That's another pro tip for you. Also, just keep an eye out for crit chance, crit damage, and just really high damage rolls. I wouldn't worry about doing a shield while you're leveling up. I would recommend going two-handed. Those are going to be the most damage while leveling. I know a lot of people start the game and say, well, I want to be a sword and board build, or I want to be a mace build. I'm just telling you right now, if you want to output the most damage, go two-handed for leveling, okay? I think I've got that point across clean and clear. Now let's jump into the more endgame min-max when you're trying to do the challenge dungeons, what you should look for, how items work, and really what to be looking out for while you're hunting for items. So you're going to notice that I'm using a blue weapon. I haven't found a really good, well-rolled legendary quite yet. I am looking for a cave breaker. But in this video, I'm going to show you a few different examples of items to look out for and really kind of the best thing to grab. The current weapon that I am using is a hand cannon that has a base roll of the fire damage and the crit chance. That's a really good roll. Every weapon in the game comes with damage on it. I mean, that's how the weapon deals damage. But not all of them come with crit chance. So that is one thing to keep an eye out there is that first box you see here is the damage roll and the crit roll. That's really good. Will help you out in the long run. When it comes to the second box, you can roll 3 affixes in here. These can vary greatly from damage rolls to plus skill to chance to inflict different elements. I've been referring to them as proc chance. And if you want the most damage on a weapon, you're going to want to try to find a triple damage rolled weapon. They do exist in the game. I have one right here to show you. These are going to be the most damage you can find in the game. Weapons can also come with a enchanting slot on them. If you find that, congratulations, you can add even more damage. You can get a 4th roll of damage on there using the enchanting altar if you wish. There are a few other options when it comes to enchanting. You can choose to increase your chance to freeze or burn or whatever it is. However, I did notice they changed it so you cannot get burn chance. You can increase the already existing affixes on an item to cause different elements, but you can't straight up add the chance to do it. They changed that, and I'm glad they did. But yeah, there's quite a few. You can get crit, different things. I recommend getting damage and or increasing the affixes, but on all enchanting slots, honestly, just go for more damage. That's my recommendation. So we talked about the triple roll and then what to do with your enchanting slot. You can also find on weapons chance to inflict these elements. I'm using the Flame and Destroyer, which is a fire relic, and I wanted to use some of the procs on the passive skill tree. So that is why I have chance to burn on my hand cannon. I also have the two-handed weapon over here just to kind of show you how they look and different things to look out for. So if you're wanting to get procs from your relic passive skill tree, you're going to want a chance to inflict the certain element that your relic is. Now, if you're looking at the passive skill tree on your relic and you're like, well, I'm not really interested in these procs, you could just skip it all together and just deal flat damage. However, being able to inflict elements is super awesome, and I wouldn't skip out on it, to be honest with you. It's nice to have that rolling damage over time. A few more things I want to talk about here is we've talked about your flat damage, your elemental chance, You can also get weapons that give you straight up plus skill points. These are really overpowered. These are just basically free skill points. So if you can get one that is increasing a skill that you're using, for example, I got Blasting Charge on my hand cannon, which is a skill I'm using. That gave me 3 free skill points that I can then go use on a skill tree. I could use it towards maybe doing 20% more damage with slammer skills. It really just kind of comes down to what you're chasing, but if you want the absolute most damage, do what we talked about before. Freeing up these skill points, though, is going to be huge and open up a lot more opportunities for your build. So I wish you the best of luck with finding these awesome rolled weapons. The item hunt is really great once you know exactly what you're looking for. I haven't seen any of the weapons roll higher than +3 on a skill, so there is that, but you can see over on the rifle we have 9 free skill points basically and an enchanting slot. That is a really well rolled weapon. However, it's a two-hander, and if you watched our defense guide video, I'll have the card up top for you on that. You'll understand why I'm using the one-handed in shield. You're going to hit a certain point in the Fazir's Dungeon Challenge that you're just going to want that much more defense so you don't get one shot basically. Last but not least, let's talk a little bit about legendary weapons. The first thing I want to talk about with legendary weapons is, and any legendary in the game, is you cannot lifebind them. So with these blue weapons, if I find a secondary weapon that I could swap to, I then would consider to lifebind my blue and increasing it by another 20%. I mean, that could be game changing. But let's focus on legendaries here. You're going to notice that this Stormblade I have has your damage roll and crit chance on the first box. Underneath that, you can see there are 4 affixes. So that's what makes legendaries more powerful. Not only do you get the special legendary power, but you can then also roll an extra affix as well as an enchanting slot on them. So each of these has 4 different, that's what I saved really, is just to show that you can get that extra slot. So you could get like 4 damage rolls and an enchanting slot. I mean, the potential is just crazy. So I wish you guys the best of the luck on your item hunt, searching for the perfect rolled weapon. Don't rule out legendaries just because you can't lifebind them. Some of them have a really strong legendary power that you can then use on your actual equipment instead of having to put into the legendarium. But anyway, you know, I could talk about the game forever and ever and ever. There's so many different roles and things you can do. That's about weapons. I just want to talk a little bit more about how to get more damage out of your gear. So I recently made the defense guide that I referenced earlier. And in there, I really focused on how to max out your defenses. I didn't really talk a lot about offensive stats. Some of the main stats I would look out for is crit chance and crit damage. That should really be a no-brainer. You're going to want quite a bit of that to really up your sheet damage that you have over here. You can see all of your attack stats down here as well as your pet. When it comes to pets, you can actually get double damage rolls here for shock and poison. You can see on this one. Those are really great. Those are really great to have. Do not neglect those. There's quite a few different cool pet tags as well. I'm not really a huge fan of this one. I just kind of have it on because I haven't found anything better. But yeah, you can check it all here. Your chance, duration. Don't neglect your crits. And don't write off getting the skill bonus on your weapons either. I mean, that's just huge. I could go on about that forever, but I think crit chance, crit damage, and skill points are going to be your top 3 affixes to look for on your armor. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck with all of it. You have other stats in the game, obviously, endurance regen, relic energy regen, relic energy cost reduction, which I'm not a huge fan of because then my skills cost more, which I can cast more frequently, that's cool. But if they cost less, you're not going to be building up your finishing move on your relic as quickly. Before I get off track, though, let's go ahead and wrap the video there. I just wanted to make a really short and sweet damage guide, basically focusing on weapons with a little bit of focus on gear. Maybe we'll make a more in-depth gear guide later on for damage. But I just really wanted to talk about the weapons, how they can roll, and just so you know what to keep an eye out for, in all honesty. So if you enjoy this video and all the content on the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with all your friends. I just can't thank you guys enough. These videos and talking about these games and just these guides, whatever you want to call them, is my way to get the information out of my head and have it in a place for me to go back and remind myself. It just helps me sleep at night. So if even just one person out there finds this video to be helpful in any way, shape, or form and maybe learn something from it, that just makes me even happier. Your support means everything, and it's not possible without you. And I don't say that lightly. I really, truly mean that. If you feel like there's anything I missed in any of these guides, or perhaps was incorrect on something, please feel free to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Feel free to tweet at me. Check out the DMGCREW Discord. All the social media links will be down below. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.